Hello YouTube and welcome back. Finally, I can show you guys I can share with you guys the new Civ Japanese. And this is a really fun Civ that I've been playing throughout the past couple of weeks and really excited to share with you guys. So let's just delve right into everything you need to know about Japan. And so I'm going to format this video in a certain way so you guys don't get confused. First, I'm going to tell you Japanese playstyle, the very important things you need to focus on. And then we're going to get into units. So every special unit and all the special things that the units have, landmarks, and then maybe just a wrap up explanation. And I've tried to. This is the second time I've recorded this video because the first one was a little bit too scrambled, so I want to get into a more precise thing, so you're not all over the place. But it's difficult because there's so much to cover. Anyway, let's do some cheats so I can show you guys everything. We're not enabled. What? That doesn't work. Anyway, Japan is a very, as you soon see, Japan is a very SimCity Civ. I'm not sure what it actually says in the. Yes, the defeat screen taking five seconds. Yes, I know. Japan is a very SimCity Civ. I'm not sure what it says in the description. Let's check here, actually. So difficulty is 203. It's architecture. So agriculture, not architecture. Agriculture, bannermen, and infantry, and that's precise. I would say defenses as well, but that's what they put. That's fine. Agriculture is a very is probably what they're referring to as the SimCity aspect of this Civ, and I'll be sharing with you that first, and then bannermen and infantry will be the military section of this video. Alright, let's use cheats. Let's use cheats. Yeah, so I'm gonna be releasing some guides and videos later on this week. Maybe they might even be available now, depending on my schedule, but hopefully you guys enjoy, and there will be lots of content for you to see. Alright, so focusing on economy and very important things to Japan first. As shown in the preview, you have a house and a mill and a mining camp functioning as dual purposes. And this mill also functions as a house, right? So let's build a bunch of houses around so that you can see that these are mills and also houses. And this mining camp functions as a blacksmith as well as a mining camp. You can see the blacksmith upgrades here, as well as the mining camp upgrade. Second of all, the mill has 3 wheelbarrow upgrades, but mini wheelbarrow upgrades. One in the Feudal Age, one in the Dark Age. Sorry, one. Well, yeah, but one in the Dark Age, one in the Feudal Age, and one in the Castle Age. And they all provide this buff, which is +3 to carry capacity, 7 movement speed, 7%, and 25% gather rate from berries. So that in the Castle Age, which is the final buff, means you get 21% move speed, 75% berry gather rate, and 9% carry capacity, which is better than wheelbarrow. However, it is 3 upgrades, and you won't get the final version until Castle Age. Okay? And that's pretty cool because, I think for the most part in my games, I've been harvesting these berries in Feudal Age, but that just means I'm getting a 50% gather rate from that, which makes Japan a pretty cool berry Civ. Alright, so this is a house, right? You can see that from the sheep that I'm killing here. Sorry, a mill. Functions as a mill and a house. Functions as blacksmith and a mining camp. And the cool thing that Japan has is 4 melee damage technologies. And like in the description, how they're an infantry-focused Civ. this kind of leans towards that, right? So you have 4 upgrades instead of 3, and 1 being in the Dark Age. They also cost stone, notably. Oh yeah, and another crucial thing that you guys need to know about, Japan actually gets 20% gold from harvesting stone, right? So it's 20%, right? Yeah, 20%. Yeah. When 5 or more stone is deposited, an extra 20% gold is produced. And when 5 or more gold is deposited, an extra 20% stone is produced. So you get stone back from mining gold, and you get gold back from mining stone. Which just kind of encourages you to mine those resources, right? If I'm getting stone from mining gold, that's just free stone. If I'm getting gold from mining stone, that's just free gold. Another reason you do that, you get stone from mining gold, is because you need to upgrade your TC. And this is the main reason why Japan is a sim city and a very base layout civ, right? You need to format your base a certain way. And there's the Dynamo Manor. So Dynamo Manor has 3 functionalities. It increases the cap of your Bannermen, which we'll talk about later in the military section. It increases the town center health by 1,000, so your defense. And it increases your villager harvest rate by 25%. So pretty good, right? Let's do that first. So that's the first upgrade, 300 stone. Second one being 600 stone. And we're not gonna build our base too much here, but I'm going to show you guys the feudal age. Let's say I need to get to the feudal age first to do this, but we're just gonna, I'll show you guys these landmarks after. Very cool landmarks. I think Japan has a lot of really good landmarks in the sense that you're not forced or pigeonholed into one or the other, which is awesome for dynamic gameplay, right? Alright, so in the feudal age, like, you don't want to be building your landmarks, your barracks too close to your TC, right? Because you need the space for farms. Like, let's say if I put a barrack here, that's space where you want to be having a farm, right? It's like an Aachen Chapel. Think of it like that, your TC. Because this ore that increases the harvest rate for farms is, you can see it around here, it's essentially your arrow thread range. And all of this area here increases the harvest rate of farms. And because these upgrades are so expensive, you can't really afford to upgrade 2 TCs that early on. So you really want to be focusing a lot of your farm economy on 1 TC. And which just means you really need to focus on your building placement, right? I'm pressing that hard because that is an important aspect of the civ. Let's get the second wheelbarrow upgrade, as I showed you guys earlier. What am I missing? Yeah, not too much to economically that I'm missing here. You know, they have all the same buildings, they have a farm. Notably, they actually have a lot less buildings because, again, your farmhouse functions as a mill, and your forge functions as a mining camp. Alright, so let's start to build some farms. And these are all going to be within the influence of this TC, which is upgraded. We can upgrade it actually again to 50%. So the first one is 25%, 300 stone. Second one is 50%, 600 stone. And the final one is to 75%. And that will be 1200 stone. Let's find a mining camp so we can get that final upgrade on the TC. I'll show you guys the landmarks soon here. Oh yeah, this is something I didn't share with you guys yet. So this is Japan's main way of increasing your food gather rate. So all of the civs in the game pretty sure have the food, the farm, sorry, have horticulture, right? Which increases your food gathering, your berries, your farms increase. Japan doesn't have that, right? They notably don't have horticulture. So how you increase your gather rate is by upgrading your TC. And finally, the final one, as you can read the description, 75%, and they actually equip rockets. Which is a keep, right? Which is pretty busted. Which makes this economy pretty much unrateable. Yeah, so if you like defensive civs and you like defensive military civs, I would say is Japan's focus. Which, yeah, pretty cool. And again, base building, you want to build your farms around this house, which, you know, obviously also acts as a mill. And all of this stuff, this has a pretty big range. You're gonna see these rockets here. Yeah, they just one-shot a horseman. Granted, this is a Dark Age horseman? Oh no, a Feudal Age horseman, but yeah, it's so strong. Yeah, it's just fucking up that horseman. Yeah, so this range is pretty big, right? The influence is within all of these farms, maybe except this one? It doesn't show, but maybe except that one. Right, so this Barak is kind of stopping it. You kind of want to read that. Put some farms here. And just really max out that farm eco, which is crucial to Japan. And they actually have a really good food economy if you can get this going. So they don't stack. You can't upgrade this one, and then these ones will stack. Which would be kind of busted, but you can't do that. Alright, and then finally, let's get to the Castle Age. I don't think there's too much more on economy-wise to focus on Japan, because this is the majority of it. Your gold eco functions the same. Your wood eco functions the same. There's no special technologies there. Yeah, it's just mainly this this food eco and your building placement and your SimCity. And what I like to do, you know, a quick cheat is if you're going for second TC especially, just build your production around it. Like, if you need space, you know, that's defensive. Just build your production around your second TC, because your main TC is where you want to build your farms. And you're not really going to be upgrading this until, like, late game, where you really need, like, 50 villages on food. Because this just has so much space that you should be okay. Like, there's all this space down here that I'm still not using, right? Oh yeah, there's a new town thing. Pretty cool. Okay. Now let's get to the Castle Age. I mean, the Imp Age. I think that's it, though, economy-wise, so I'm not going to be focusing on this too much. I think the next thing we can focus on will be landmarks. I guess we'll just focus on the landmarks that have already been built. Alright. So let's start with the Feudal Age landmark, which is the Shinobi. Need some houses here, so we gotta build some mills. Alright, let's start with the Shinobi, because this is a very cool landmark, and I think it's actually pretty good, honestly. So I think the farmhouse and the Shinobi landmark, the Koda Township, both going to be utilized quite well. Which is, again, like I said, nice about Japan. And let's show you guys this this Shinobi landmark. So they have 3 abilities: Spy, Sabotage, and... Okay, I'm not going to say that, but that's their teleport ability, the Smoke Bomb ability. Alright, so if we want to use our spy ability, all we need to do is have vision on the enemy villagers. We don't need to be in range of them or anything. Just have vision, and we can do that. The way for the enemy to see your disguised villagers is with outpost, a TC, or a scout, and that will disguise these villagers, undisguised. They can also just attack them, right? So they don't need vision on them to just be able to attack them. They can just attack them if they want. But you'll see in a second here, this outpost will undisguise them. Alright. So three shinobi should one-shot a villager here, but he actually has textile, so he might need a fourth. Yeah, so 4 with textiles and then 3 with without textiles, which is pretty cool if you want to be using this Rammark a lot. 3 shinobi will one-shot a villager without textiles. A little bit difficult to play this game with the computer here, but shinobi are actually pretty decent just versus horsemen, and you're going to see that in a second here. Because they have high base damage. So they actually kind of fuck up horsemen. What they're weak against is knights and archers. So if you're playing shinobi early, just watch out for knights and archers, because you will lose a fight to those units. So they have 2 more abilities, which is Smoke Bomb. Essentially just, teleports you to a different location. You can stay in disguise while doing that. And this is especially cool if you want to, sabotage some buildings and then pop back out. Or maybe you want to jump a wall. Very, very cool to jump walls. You can definitely do that with the shinobi. And then kill a villager when they're not seeing. You think your TC is protected, or your villagers are protected, they're behind a wall. Nope. Shinobi can just jump that and fuck up their villagers. You can also sabotage buildings. And what sabotage does is it sets the building on fire, and it also disables its production. You can think of a lot of uses to do this on. Military buildings are the easiest thing you can think of. But also, Ottoman military schools. A mill you can do that on. A jura. It will stop wheelbarrow. I'm sure you guys personally can think of a lot of more things. Or blacksmith. This thing that's we can see right now. And it's just going to set on fire, and it's going to stop the production. So those are the 3 things that ninjas have. Very, very cool units, and also very special in the sense that there's a lot they can do. Jump walls, stop production, disguise. They have a lot of uses. And also good. Like, this is a good Rammark, I think, and I think you're going to be seeing it a lot. Alright, so let's move on to the next Castle Age Rammark, which is this one. So, this is Castle Age Rammark Tempo of Quality. Unlock the Buddhist Monk, which are 33% cheaper and weaken enemy damage by 50%. So, what it means by weaken enemy damage by 50% is you can only weaken 1. So if you have 4 monks, you can only weaken 4 of the enemy units by 50%. Which, 50% is a lot though, right? Like, and you also have to remember these monks are cheapo. So... I'm not sure, I guess it's an ability. So I haven't been using this Rammark as much because I've been focused on the other one, but... do you have to activate that? Oh, no, it's a passive thing. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want you to activate that. Anyway. I want to get some units to show you guys here. Anyway, so because they're cheaper, you can mass a lot of these monks, right? And you can also build them from... let's say you built this Rammark. You can also build them from normal Buddhist temples, so if you really wanted to, you could build them from Sebra. You're not capped by this Rammark in particular, because obviously this Rammark, has a production time, 30 seconds. So it's, but if you wanted to, you could build multiple Buddhist temples and then spam them. So the main thing is it's cheaper, it weakens enemy damage, and actually has this cool thing that gives a 20% damage buff to nearby friendly units when casting Conversion, which is pretty good. I mean, it's difficult to use because you have to have all these things, right? But I think in the right sense, it will be good. Not a ramp I've been using a lot, but I think they were saying this damage enough, right? Yeah. So it reduces enemy damage, and in a fight with, you know, if you have 12 monks and they have 12 units, all of those units are going to be reduced damage. Okay. So that's essentially that Ramok. And then the final, not the final, but the first Imp Ramok that we're going to be checking out is the Castle of the Crow, which you can see it says Economic Ramok, but it's a keep. This is a keep, and a Japanese keeps are special in the sense that they fire rockets, they're cheap, they're more expensive, fire rockets, and have a higher base health, I think, right? I'm not sure what a normal keep has, but Japanese ones have higher base health. Yeah, essentially they have that 300 extra wood, but they also fire rockets, which kind of busted, guys. Anyway, let's show you a normal keep in comparison to this one. Anyway, it says Economic Ramok because periodically, that's what it says here, it's going to spawn the trader. I think you guys saw that earlier. It spawns a trader that just gives you resources throughout the game. And I like this Ramok as Japan because they cannot build keeps in the Castle Age, and that's because their keeps are better. So if you really could build keeps in the Castle Age, it would be extremely strong. So you're not gonna have you're not gonna have any keep presence on the map in Castle Age. So when you hit Imp, I like building that keep so you can secure that big gold mine on the map or something, right? Yeah, and also it provides that economic bonus, which is the trader. Essentially, I think it gives you like 1,800 resources every 3 minutes, so like 600 res per minute or something. Maybe that's too much, but that might be a little bit too much. I think maybe 1,500, so 500. Something like that. Not, you know, I don't know exact numbers, unfortunately. Anyway, it's just a keep. It gives you the trader, and that's it. But I want to touch on the other keeps, or the keeps in general, because so we can focus on units after the Ramoks. Anyway, these can only build in Imp Age, and they're better. Okay, so this Ramok actually has the same stats as a normal Ramok. I mean, as a normal keep. And they fire rockets, same rocket that you saw in the TC earlier, which just do a shit ton of damage. Pretty good. Wish I could show you guys at the moment, but nobody really to play versus. But they're good. Alright, now I think those are the 3 Ramoks here. I think I need to jump out of this game into a different game to show you the other Ramoks. Yeah, so let's do that. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Japan, a lot of Byzantine, and I mean the new variant civs as well, but these 2 civs just have so much in their kit that this video is probably going to be a bit longer than I want it to be because I'm talking so much, I'm not used to it, but it's just so much, guys, and it's just so much fun, so excited to share that with you. And hopefully I can do the same thing with Byzantine. I'm not sure about the hybrids. There's a bit less to focus on, so I think you guys can get the trigger of it yourself, but anyway, let's jump into the Ranmoks of the second Ranmoks of Japan. Okay. So we saw Shinobi, we saw the Buddhist Monk Ranmok, and we saw the Castle Ranmok. So now we're going to be seeing the Townhouse Ranmok. Sorry, the Storehouse Ranmok. the Golden Gate Ramok, and anyway, and the Imp Ramok. Just get a bunch of res here, so we can get to those Imp stages. Alright. Again, you got your farmhouse, which acts as a mill and a house. Your forge, which acts as a mining camp and a blacksmith. And we're going to be aging here in a second. And I'll show you guys that storehouse Ramok. So this was the township, was the Shinobi Ramok, military Ramok, which allows you to have that quick Shinobi out, harass your unit, and then this is their economic Ramok. Universal drop-off location that creates farms around the Ramok every 45 seconds. Generates wood instead when farmland becomes full. Alright. So this Ramok is pretty good. Again, both of these Ramoks are viable options. I played both of them in my practice games. Good Ramoks. And this one in particular is very, very strong value-wise. Like, the Malian one gives 45 gold per minute. This one actually gives you res per min. It's higher than that, right? Because for a farm every 45 seconds, farms are 75 wood, so you're getting more than 75 wood every minute. So how many farms would you be getting in 3 minutes? You're getting 4 farms, right? So wait, yeah, you're getting 100 res per minute. Sorry, math on YouTube video. Anyway, again, you want to be placing this in a way that doesn't hurt your farm eco too much. And this is particularly cool, this farm Ramok, because like I mentioned earlier, Japan's main food bonus is farms around your TC, and this is exactly what that does. Racist farms around your TC. Actually, before I build this Ramok, I'm going to tell you exactly where the first farm is going to spawn. It's going to spawn right here. And that's because this functions... Wait. Okay, I hope I'm not wrong on this, but it should function like a normal farm Ramok. That is what I've been told. Maybe it will spawn here. I'm pretty sure it spawns here, but it might spawn here. Anyway, it functions like a mill. So the farm should spawn like that. But I feel like my games, they've been spawning here. So like that. But maybe it does spawn here, and I'm just completely stupid. Anyway. Now I'm kind of mock-assing. Okay, so it does spawn here. So I was right, but it's supposed to farm around like this. And it's spawning here because in my games, it's always spawned on the north or the west part of the farmhouse, the storehouse. So in all of your games, it's going to be spawning the west first, at least in my games. And then it's going to go like this, okay? And it's not a huge deal, but against like Mongols and something, you don't want to be building this and then it's spawning on this side, right? Which means you have to delete it, and then it's free bounty for them. Right? So it's going to spawn on the west side of your storehouse. Also, you kind of want to be close to the TC anyway. And this storehouse functions as so many things, right? Oh my god. So it functions as a garrison. You can garrison villagers in it, which means if they have a cav here, I mean a knight here and they're raiding you, just garrison your villagers and they're safe. It functions as a drop-off. So, you don't need to build mills around it or something. So it functions garrison, drop-off, and then, as a normal 100 res feudal Ramok, which is not too normal. That's pretty good. And it just gives you that slow farm transition into the raid game that, as Japan is pretty good, because this Daimyo mana is so expensive that you need to really usually be focusing on getting this upgrade instead of building farms first. Anyway, so that's this Ranmark in a nutshell. Works well with Japan in general because it scales well into the mid game, and it's just very good. Like, it just offers you a lot in terms of value. Garrison, free res, drop off location, you know, even has upgrades in here. So yeah, so that's that Ranmark. And then let's get into the Floating Gate, which is the Ranmark I've been using the most in Castle Age. I'd say in my games, Storehouse and Township, the Ninja and this farm Ranmark, kind of like 50-50. However, in Castle Age, I've been using this Floating Gate a lot more in Tempo of Equality, and you guys kind of saw that earlier with my description of the Buddhist monks. It's not as descriptive as I probably should have had, but let's show you guys the Floating Gate because this Ranmark is so good. So good. Alright, so the Floating Ranmark, Floating Gate, spawns 2 Yoroshiros once it's built. And then 1 more every 3 minutes. Sorry, every 4 minutes. I thought it was 3 minutes. It's 4 minutes. Okay. And like it says, it has special enhancements. And yeah, let's just show you guys some of those. So in a you can put these relics into. Okay, so it also spawns with a monk, a priest, so you don't have to build one yourself, which is an important detail. So you can put these relics into all sorts of types of buildings. You can put it in your forge, you can put it in your farmhouse, you can put it in your lumber camp. Because I don't have, 10 relics, I can't put them in every single one. But what I can do is just tell you guys what they do. So in a farmhouse, it's going to give you 75 food per minute. So essentially, immediately, this Ranmark produces 150 res of value because you have 2, right? 75 here, 75 there. So 75 food in the mill, 75 gold in the forge, and 75 wood in the lumber camp. On top of that, what you can actually do is you can put them in production buildings. And that is very, very cool because if you're rushing Castle Age, you can put them in production buildings and then you can just spam units across the map. Faster. Like, normally you have to build a samurai. It doesn't show me because I'm using cheats. Normally you have to build a samurai in 23 seconds. Okay, so I want to increase that. I just got Castle Age. I'm not too rich. I don't have the money for a production building. Let's put this relic in it. Oh my god, it's super slow. I can't attack the enemy. Okay, now it's 5 seconds. Okay, it's a little bit short because I was already producing it, but it's 8 seconds. Like, what? 23 seconds to 8 seconds. Like, imagine putting that into a stable. You're just spamming knights across the map consistently. You're spamming samurai across the map consistently. Very good if you want to, do a sharp Castle Age timing. Very good if you want to defend with springholds and you need fast production on your siege. So you can just imagine the uses that this Ranmark has. What I tend to do is I tend to put these relics in production buildings early on in Castle Age so I can get those units out quickly. Or I put them in a TC, which also increases the production of your villagers. And then once Imp Age hits, where that value is not as much, I put it in either the Siege Workshop or maybe the Forge, so you can get infinite gold per minute. So just think of this Ranmark in terms of a very late game focus, but also has a lot of viability early game because it allows you to really push units out. And these things spawn infinitely, right? So 2-hour game, you're going to be getting a shit ton of these relics, which means by the end of the game, you're going to have 500 res of, not even, 1,000 res per minute just from these relics. But, obviously that's a very, very long game. Anyway, super cool Ranmark. It's going to create another one here. Let's create a Monastery here, because this guy also acts as a priest, right? After you drop off these 2 relics to your buildings, you can pick up a relic and put it in this shrine. I'm gonna pick up this one again because another one spawned after 4 minutes. What I like to do in the raid game, let's say you know you're not always looking at this landmark, because you know there's lots of other things to do in the raid game. I like to, you hear that sound, right? That special sound that floating gates found a relic. You should have heard it like a few seconds ago. Yeah, I might have missed it, but you get the point. You hear that sound, you say, "Oh, okay, relic spawns. I want to put it in the house to get more food." So you put it in the house, and then you just shift it back to the landmark. So the guy returns to the landmark, and you don't have to like, "Oh fuck, where did I put my priest last time I used him?" Right? Just shift him back, and he will be back on the landmark. Again, you can see this thingy, whatever you want to call it, on the building you placed on. Importantly, these things can also be destroyed. So if your enemy has like fire answers or something, right, and they kill this house, that value from this 75 food per minute is gone forever. So putting in TC is nice if you want it destroyed, because obviously you have rockets, but you know, just be wary that they can destroy these buildings if they see this thing and they're like, oh shit, that's giving free res, I should kill it. They kill that value's gone forever. Alright. Yeah. You get the point of this landmark, I think. A lot of flexibility and a lot of value right game. Finally, the final landmark that Japan has is Tangamashi Gunsmith. So the alternative to the keep landmark is this landmark, which I like to think of these 2 landmarks in the in-page as the French landmarks. One is the Red Palace, Castle of the Crow. Acts as a castle, has the economic bonus, you know, the French would be in emplacements. This has the trader that gives free res. And then the other one would be French, it's the artillery upgrades. And for Japan, it's also artillery upgrades. And you'll see in the second here that this is an artillery siege landmark. It produces hand cannons. These units I'm going to touch on a little bit more specifically here. Rebaldaquin and Bombards. And these are all normal. They're not special in any way, except for these guys, which are new units, right? And notably, these tickets, so stockpiles weapon supplies every 30 seconds that can be used to instantly produce gunpowder units. If you buy them, if you just buy them with res. Okay, that's only doing it because I have a cheat. You just buy them with res, they actually have to produce. But if you buy them with tickets, they will instant reproduce. Which has a lot of value if you're buying them with tickets, right? You don't need to wait for a bomber to produce from your siege workshop. You can just instantly get these units on the battlefield. I'm going to use the cheat again because I want to show you guys what a lot of these Otsutsu can do. Anyway, so with tickets, these guys instantly produce, and you start with 5 tickets, and you get a ticket every 30 seconds. These guys cost 1, you know, these 2 cost 4, hand cannon costs 1. But I think these are the most cool units and the most special, and I want to show you guys what these guys can do. So they are ranged hand cannons, essentially, that do extra damage to buildings. But you can also, they also function as just units, and they do a decent bit of damage. Yeah, so they have 6.5 tiles of range, which is more range than a hand cannon, yeah, which is 4. So that has 10, obviously less range than Bombard, but they fuck up buildings. Like, yeah, they kind of fuck up buildings. Like, 7 is a little bit of a low number for these to have, but if you have a big army and you have these in your backline, you can get a lot of damage done with these units. And you can, and because they have high range, usually they're not going to be dying in fights, right? If you're samurai in the front, if your Yumi are at the back here, it's going to be hard for your enemy to target these units. We can see they can also fight the archers. They do AoE damage. So they are pretty cool units. They are pretty cool. And this is something, like, these unique units about Japan, it's very fun to use. Pretty badass units, honestly. Yeah. And maybe these are kind of abusive. If you get like a shit ton of them, they can just like really destroy armies, so gotta test around with that a bit. Anyway, I mean, I could obsess over these units a little bit more, but I think that is Japanese Remox. We've been over all of them. And you can see now this is, well, it's not going to place another rice field because it's giving wood now. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Japanese Remox. I think we can finally jump into their units now. And I don't think I'm missing anything. So let's jump into their units. I'm gonna jump into the units based on age because notably Japan actually get samurais in the Dark Age, which is pretty cool, and especially cool for hybrid maps. So Japan gets samurai in the Dark Age as well as spearmen in the Dark Age. So they have options to 2 units, like Mongols with spearmen and horsemen. Notably English only have men-at-arms, so they don't have spearmen. So Japan actually has the spearmen option as well as the men-at-arms option. Alright, so in the Dark Age, we'll use a cheat here. So you can see that they actually have access to the samurai and the spearmen. This is a normal spearman. We're not going to focus on that. We're not going to build that. Anyway, so the samurai, they're the men-at-arms replacement for Japan. They cost 10 more gold than a normal one, but they have this deflective armor. Deflective armor charge can block 1 melee or range attack, recharge as well of combat for 8 seconds, which is obviously better against units with higher DPS output, but also good with better with higher DPS output. Also good for early game kiting or moving in combat. Just a nice bonus that Japan has. Other than that, heavy infantry with good damage and defense. I think they have heavy armor, but they have slower move speed than men-at-arms, I'm pretty sure. And they're normal men-at-arms, right? So they're counted by knights, lancers, and crossbowmen. I'm not sure the normal stats on the men-at-arms, but they have 2 melee armor, 3 range, and 8 damage. Alright. Let's go to Healer Age here, because we have more infantry for Japan that are pretty cool. These guys are pretty cool. Again, like I said earlier, they have 4 melee upgrades, so if you want to focus on that melee style as Japan, you really can. And this just kind of leans into that, right? Like, you have more upgrades, so they're better. You also get that in the Dark Age, right? So if you are doing Dark Age play, you actually can get that extra upgrade. You got a Shinobi thing on the side here. Build some houses. Alright, so again, obviously the upgrades, you have to upgrade your samurai because they're Dark Age units, so you upgrade that. And like all upgrades in the game, if you have a Dark Age upgrade, your Castle Age upgrade is cheaper. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's Sorry, unless you're Spearman. Spearman are normal, but the Samurai, cheapo. Yeah, if it's a special unit, I think. Okay, moving past that, we have the Ona Bugushio. Okay, I don't know how to say it, but... So these things in my games, I want to tell you guys about that because I want to tell you about the value of these things. These things are not like a core unit, I'd say. They're more like a replacement for the Horseman. Obviously, Japan has the Horseman, but if you're just going melee units, right, you don't really want to be building a saber, or you don't want to be doing a bunch of stuff like that. They're Horsemen that can counter Horsemen. So, let's build some of them. They're fast. So they're good at raiding. They're fast. They attack fast too. Look at their attack speed. 0.9. 0.9, guys. That's much faster. Much faster than the Samurai. And which means getting these Mary upgrades for these units in particular is very good because you're attacking faster. So you know, the more attacks you have, the more damage you do, the more upgrades you have, the you know it scales, right? I kind of want to attack something so I can show you guys how explosive these units are. They're very good for raiding, and they're very good against low number of units. Like if your opponent is going very greedy, then these are good units to have. What do they get counted by? Let's see here. Counted by Archers and Knights. I mean, yeah, so they're counted by Archers and Knights. Not really going to be using them versus like French or Rus, right? But if you're against like ABBA, they're good. Or I don't know, any civ that likes to have like a big infantry mass, big spearman mass, big horseman mass. And I'm gonna show you guys how much they actually fuck up villagers here. Yeah, so they attack very fast and they do a lot of damage if you know they're in a fight. The main issue is if you're getting kited by a big archer ball, then they can't go down quickly because they have 0 armor unless you upgrade them, right? So pretty cool units. Don't really know what else to say about these things, but very early feudal, I would say, focus, and then very like cheesy kind of raiding kind of units. They're not gonna usually, like maybe in rare cases or very price style focus cases, right? If you want to go these units plus horsemen, you could probably do that, but the most of the time your focus is going to be on Samurai Archer or maybe a different cav based focus. And now we're going to get into the core archer unit for Japan, which is the Yumi. So the Yumi are cool for Japan because they're cheaper than normal archers. They're archers, right? But they're cheaper, they have reduced health, and they're weaker against... Sorry, they're not weaker against anything. They're just archers. They're obviously weaker against armored units, but archers are weaker against armored units in general. They're just cheaper. But they're normal archers. So the thing about Japan is that they don't have a normal crossbowman. They have a replacement crossbowmen that are cav, which makes having like a standard army a little bit difficult unless you're going cav based that counters men-at-arms, right? Because it's going to be a little bit awkward to use these things with Yumi because they're cav, and your army's going to be a little awkward like this, which is fine. You can do that, but what I tend to do a lot is just go for like 2 different playstyles, right? I go for my infantry playstyle, which is Yumi plus Samurai, or maybe these things early game, or I go for a cav based playstyle. And I'll show you guys Bannerman in a second here. And the reason Yumi are actually not the worst thing against armored, Yumi Samurai that is, they're not the best thing. And if they are massing a bunch of man-at-arms like with knights, you might have to go these within your army if you are going infantry playstyle. But they're not the worst thing because you can mass so many, and because you have so many, the Bannerman buff actually is better. Because Bannermen increase the damage of your units by 15%. And it's within this aura. So all the Yumi that are within this aura are increased by 15% because this is the ranged Bannerman, the Yumi Bannerman. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply to all units, so the melee Bannerman increases melee units, the range Bannerman increases range units, and then the cav Bannerman increases cav units. Need some more food here. So I can show you guys. If I wanted to increase my, if I had a Yumi Samurai comp and I wanted to increase, oh fuck, I just got that upgrade. I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. I just got an upgrade for Samurai that increased their damage by +4 versus infantry. Which makes man-at-arms easier to counter as Japan if you are going for this playstyle, and you don't necessarily need these crossmen as much, because if you have Samurai that do +4 to infantry man-at-arms, you're naturally going to be countering them a little bit better than you normally would. Which makes this kind of comp a little bit better for Japan than like a Norma Ultra man-at-arms comp. Alright, so if I go for Yumi Samurai comp, I would need the Yumi Bannerman to increase the Ultra damage, as well as the Katana Bannerman to increase the Samurai damage. And you see that here. The Yumi Bannerman is increasing the damage by 50%, and the Katana Bannerman is increasing the Samurai damage by 15%. The topic I was touching on earlier is that because Yumi are cheaper and they're easier to mass because they're cheaper, this 15% damage buff actually makes them a bit better with Bannermen than normal archers, because you're making so many more, you're not having as much as oh man, you're not having as, what's it called? Overkill. You're not having as much as overkill with these lower damage units than you are with higher damage units. Anyway, so these Samurai have that special bonus +4 versus infantry, which makes this comp decent versus men-at-arms. Not amazing, but decent. And if they do go cav, you're likely going to need to build Spearmen as well. Again, you have full melee tech upgrades, which makes... Oh, sorry, it's in the end page. I thought it was Castle Age. Which makes this comp even better. And let's say you only have one Samurai Bannerman. If he dies, let's say he dies in fight, you actually get this banner here, this banner aura that lasts for 30 seconds on death, that will still increase the damage of your Samurai here. So these Samurai are still receiving this bonus until this banner goes away. In 16 seconds, 15 seconds, I'll show you that once that banner goes away, they're no longer receiving that buff. And these also receive the buff of this, by the way. Anyway, the buff is gone because the Bannerman is gone. The banner is gone from the ground. Alright, so let's focus on... I think I've kind of touched on the melee units here. Yeah, nothing else is really too special here. Anyway, the ranged Bannerman here does not buff these guys even though they're ranged, because they are cav. And the devs did this because this is a more cav-paced playstyle. You don't really want to have a melee guy just following around your cav to buff it. So the horsemen are the same, by the way. Nothing special about the Japanese horsemen, so don't need to really show you guys too much about that. Mounted samurai, a bit more expensive, right? I think it is a bit more expensive, right? 10 more gold, I think. A bit more expensive, but they also are samurai, and they have that defective armor. Yep, and to buff these guys which are cav, you need the cav bannermen. So let's get the cav bannermen here. And it will buff both your Onimusha and your mounted samurai. Now these things are like horse archers, like Rus horse archers, except they're crossbowmen, so they do damage versus armor. And I find them to be particularly nice as Japan, or just in general, because if you're doing like knight versus knight play, you just build these alongside, and then you just win those knight battles, right? Because these just follow your knights, and you just kind of fuck up armored units. And as well as if you build the cav bannerman guy, will give you buff to all these cav. Right, we can show you this, and this is the two playstyles I was telling you guys earlier. This is the cav playstyle. You go mounted samurai plus Onimusha, and then this is the more melee infantry kind of playstyle. Mass Yumi samurai. And I think both of Aiba's Japan. Alright, and this upgrade for the Onimusha also is pretty good. It fires a whistling arrow when the enemy is seen, increasing move speed for 10 seconds. Pretty good, especially if you're, on that knight versus knight fight and you need to be chasing down their units. You definitely can do that with these guys because they receive that move bonus, right? And we're going to see that in a second here. Oh, did I not upgrade it? Oh yeah, I didn't upgrade it. Sorry. So they get that move speed, which means I can just chase them down if I wanted to. So what speed did I get? 1.26. Oh, it's on CD. Well, I'll need to check it again. What speed they actually get to, but I guess they have a base of 1.26. I guess the speed probably maybe even goes to 1.8. I'm not sure exactly, but normally they're as fast as knights, and then if they get that speed bonus, they're definitely faster and they can chase them down. Yeah, so this is really good on like knight versus knight prime. Honestly, they're just really nice units to use in general, because they're very nice to micro, right? They micro kind of better than horse archers. They feel very nice to micro. So if you really like that micro aspect of civs, then you're gonna enjoy using these as Japan. Yeah, and as you saw earlier, they went up to 1.79, so you can chase down knights if you want to. Sorry, not used to talking this much, but I think that's mostly it. I don't think I'm missing too much here. Siege-wise, other than those special landmark guys that I showed you earlier, Japan gets no real siege bonuses. So everything is standard. They have the same swing out, same Magno, same trebuchet, same ram, same bombard. No special upgrades. Japan is a very infantry focused civ. You can do cav if you want, like I show you, but siege I wouldn't say is their strong point unless you go this gunsmith, and then those guys really become pretty useful. Again, you can't build keeps in Castle Age. You need to wait until Imp Age. I don't think they have any trade buffs, so they're not really a trade civ. Yeah, I think that pretty much goes over everything, guys. I feel like I'm missing stuff, and I might be, but It's a really fun Civ to play, and I think you guys after this should just start playing it yourself, right? So I hope you enjoyed. Overall, it's a defensive Civ with its rockets, with its TC upgrade. It's a SimCity Civ with its farm placement. It's the thing about Japan is that after playing it a lot, I don't think it's like busted, but it's like they have so much flexibility in their build order and stuff that you really, as an enemy of Japan, gotta watch out for everything that they can do. They can go ninjas. They can go these these melee things that really are very explosive, right? They can do so much in their kit that it's just a really well designed Civ, honestly, in my opinion. It's honestly just so well designed that I have had a lot of fun playing it, and I hope you guys will too. So, if you watched this entire video, thank you, and take care, guys. I really hope you enjoy Japan like I have been. I'm going to be making some guides as well. These are going to be short guides. So if you tune into that, enjoy, and yeah, goodbye.